Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. Quality means doing it right when no one is looking. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. Don't find fault, find a remedy. If everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason so few engage in it. My best friend is the one who brings out the best in me. You can't build a reputation on what you are going to do. The harder you work, the luckier you get. There is no man living who isn't capable of doing more than he thinks he can do. Money is like an arm or a leg, use it or lose it. A business that makes nothing but money is a poor business. Vision without execution is just hallucination. An idealist is a person who helps other people to be prosperous. The only real security that a man can have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience, and ability. If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said, faster horses. Don't find fault, find a remedy. Anybody can complain. To do more for the world than the world does for you, that is success. Enthusiasm is the sparkle in your eyes, the swing in your gait. I am looking for a lot of men who have an infinite capacity to not know what can't be done. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. Failure is the opportunity to begin again more intelligently. The only real mistake is the one from which we learn nothing. The best way to make money in business is not to think too much about making it. Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. The only thing worse than training your employees and having them leave is not training them and having them stay. Chop your own wood, and it will warm you twice. A business absolutely devoted to service will have only one worry about profits: they will be embarrassingly large. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Before everything else, getting ready is the secret of success. Don't just find fault, find a remedy. If everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. A bore is a person who opens their mouth and puts their feet in it. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. There is no happiness except in the realization that we have accomplished something. There is joy in work. There is no happiness except in the realization that we have accomplished something. You can't build a reputation on what you are going to do. Genius is seldom recognized for what it is, a great capacity for hard work. The highest use of capital is not to make more money, but to make money do more for the betterment of life. The best way to predict the future is to create it. I don't believe a man can ever leave his business. He ought to think of it by day and dream of it by night. I never attempt to make money on the stock market. I buy on the assumption that they could close the market the next day and not reopen it for 5 years. A market is never saturated with a good product. but it is very quickly saturated with a bad one. There is no such thing as no chance. An obstacle is a stumbling block or a stepping stone, depending on how you approach it. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. The harder you work, the luckier you get. Life is a series of experiences, each one of which makes us bigger, even though sometimes it is hard to realize this. Wisdom is having knowledge enough to know that you don't know it all. In business, sometimes you have to take a leap of faith before you can soar. If you can't do it right, don't do it at all. It is hard to fail, but it is worse never to have tried to succeed. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Creativity is seeing what everyone else has seen, and thinking what no one else has thought. The true purpose of life is not just to exist, but to grow and to create something worthwhile. True success is when work becomes a hobby that brings satisfaction. When we stop learning, we stop growing.